What's up, guys? I'm SaltEMike, and this is your Star Citizen Week in Review for January 31st, 2022. 3.16.1, or the actual real 3.16, is now live, and prepare yourselves for the impending disaster that is going to be the roadmap update. But while we wait, they're giving us a ton of things to do in February. All that and more on today's Week in Review. And as always, if this is your first Star Citizen Week in Review, this is where I take all of the official news coming out of CIG and put it into one video. I also throw my opinions in there as well, whether you like them or not. Also, I do live stream on twitch.tv/SaltEMike every day but Monday, so I can get this video out to you guys starting at 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And if you haven't checked it out yet, I do have a second channel where we do some live reactions to Star Citizen content videos and other videos as well. But we have a ton to get through this week because, well, ISC is back and a few other things. So we'll start out with patch notes and 3.16.1G. That's basically just Derelict and Hover Quad polish passes, but they adjusted flare ammo on ships. Let me know what's changed here. I never noticed this in the notes until today, and I haven't jumped in game yet to see what the changes are. Did they go up? Did they go down? What's up with that? Bugs. The main one is laser trip mines will now do damage to you at a bigger distance or at a distance at all. Where in previous PTUs, you can just like walk up to them and shoot them without taking any damage. So you're going to have to get creative on this, as CIG has said. Also, the food and drink goes down in the way that they want it to now. So I played for 3 hours the other day, and given there were no 30Ks, you may actually need to bring snacks and drinks with you on whatever runs that you may be doing. Then we had 3.16.1H. There's no feature updates, just a major bug fix that needed to be fixed before live. If you went to jail, sometimes you would just lose your head for your character and you needed to reset your account. The H patch did culminate into the 3.16.1 live patch. I haven't played it that much yet, but so far it seems to remain as stable as 3.15. Full notes for the live patch will be linked in the description down below. Then moving on to roadmap updates. Well, the problem is we don't have one this week. It would be scheduled to have one this past Wednesday, but there are clearly some changes coming. And by changes, I think we can assume massive delayed features to the issues with 3.15, which moved into 3.16 and are obviously going to move down into 3.17. So they're delaying the roadmap delays until next week, it seems, but not really much to say about this other than kind of prepare for the suck next week, because it's gonna be bad, is what it feels like. Hopefully it's something good, but I think we know what's gonna happen. Then moving on to video updates, I'm very happy that we have one. There was an ISC with a Derelict featurette. So if you haven't been following the project very much, updates to Derelict crash sites are really the only kind of content that made it into 3.16, which is now called 3.16.1. So here are the details on those.
In 3.16, we're adding a whole new series of Caterpillar crash sites with exciting new puzzles and awesome environments to explore. The dangers that the players are going to encounter in the new Caterpillar crash sites are the laser trip mines. There's a sense of some people have already been there and have rigged the crash sites. Players will have to get really clever to find new ways to approach the Caterpillars or find ways to deactivate them.
I think the idea here is great. I spoke about it last week. There is so much potential here to build on this to make these things more interesting. But the single best way to keep them interesting, I think, is variation. And the best way to do that is variations in the reward.
Along with increased danger comes increased rewards. So we really wanted to make use of the new loot system and give a reason to the players to explore these locations.
The loot in these containers, in my opinion, seem to be really well curated, more than we've seen on other missions like the bunker ones, for example. I often find items that are useful for this given situation, although in the bunkers you do find quite a bit of guns, which are useful as well. And that is cool, and it adds massively, again, to that potential that these could have in the future. Think salvage and what components Rex may have or may not have in them, because they may have been taken out or whatever, right? So the variation and the unknownness of that is big. Next up is the part that makes me lose my mind, and they just basically started showing concept art.
Now that we produced those Caterpillar Derelicts for 316, that was just the tip of the iceberg. We had this long-term vision of a systemic, persistent kind of derelicts that can go on through the universe. We start looking at what the future could look like in the next few patches.
First of all, he said all of the buzzwords, and that seems like Montreal is now on the CIG script. Second, he said the next few patches. Usually CIG just abandons things like this once they do their little proof of concept that they could do better derelicts. So we will see in the next few patches what changes come to these, what additions, and what the concept art actually turns into in game. Personally, I didn't see a lot of concept art on gold standard ships, and my expectation would be a ship like the Saber and a ship like Gladius and whatever gold standard reworks are coming, because those actually have the components in them, and you would probably want to utilize salvage components, things like that with these derelicts, but we'll have to see. The rest of the show, again, they just showed concept art of different ships in different biomes, specifically ones that we've never seen, like I just said. So I'm keeping zero expectations on these, because a lot of the things they showed were not ships that were gold standard. They were ships and biomes that we do not have in the game currently. I don't think we're going to see these for the next year or more. So here we go. Then they did a sprint report, and they started out with the Hurston Hospital. It's called Maria Pure of Heart. It looks a lot like the business district, and I think that's pretty cool, because it's just a change to the way hospitals look. I don't know about you guys, but I'm gonna miss the ability to just have my home location at Everus Harbor. It's just simpler to navigate. I know they work a lot on these cities, but they haven't made it valuable enough to live there to be worth taking the time out to travel to and from a city just yet. Mining gadgets, this is like, on this one, it was weird. They showed the process, but I want to clip this specific part out, and you can watch the process of how mining gadgets will work. As always, the ISC link will be in the description.
It's at this point that you can mine, break apart, and collect like usual, and in many cases, even recollect your mining gadget to be used again in the future.
I am really trying to hold judgment on this just a little bit, but if the price is as high as they showed, which was in the like 15,000, 12,000 range, and it is always destroyed by a rock, that makes sense to me. But if you can retrieve it back after you've done a break, I'm not sure I like it that much. What are your thoughts? Again, for me, making mining more accessible to single ships more than it already is makes multi-crew mining more dead than it already is, in my opinion. But again, let me know what you think in the comments below, because it's not just about me. Vehicle experience team, cluster missiles and bombs they showed. We already had those, Rattlers, right? But maybe something happened. I haven't used them in a long time, and I haven't seen them used in a while. More importantly, it is safe to assume that they're doing their combat summit right now, and this is not the only thing that they're working on, but is the only thing that they showed us so far, and to be honest, I would argue it's the least important thing that should be worked on by the vehicle experience team, so hopefully they have something in the pipeline to share with us about things like, I don't know, ship speeds, the ion rework, things like that. Drake Vulture is next, and it's looking great. Again, I love Drake's interiors personally. They feel like Expanse-style ships to me, very lived in and very livable, which is cool. Then the Scorpius Greybox, which looks like it's coming along really well, but man, I am not looking forward to them not creating a meta on a ship that has 8 guns. But who knows, maybe the capacitor system will go, well, there's 8 guns, so the amount of rounds that you have to fire on those 8 guns would be so low that maybe it's not that great to use all 8 of the same type. We'll have to see. The Hull A, they showed the exterior a bit, but just thinking a ship like this really needs cargo missions, cargo rework for it to be really cool. So we'll have to see when that stuff happens. Bandit Merchantman, more of the interior there, which is whatever. You know, we'll see more of it as we go, and it'll get more exciting over time. Corsair. This ship seems to be coming along as well. Looking forward to more ships in that class, but more importantly, I'm looking forward to more multi-crew systems aside from just turrets. And I think the Corsair would be a great thing to show those off in, maybe. Spacescaping for Pyro, again, not much to see here. This feels like the Road to CitizenCon outpost images that we saw all of last year, and I feel like we're going to get a lot of these this year based on what they said, and we don't really get to play them yet, which is kind of annoying. Outlaw space stations, they're looking insane, and this would be cool to visit when we get Pyro, but again, we're not sure when that's going to be. And then they showed an exterior, which is like, wow, so different from what we have now, which is really cool. We also had an SCL this week, a Star Citizen Live, but it was your typical game dev stuff, and it was on concept art. So there really wasn't much to clip out, but the start to finish was actually quite cool, so you should check it out. Link will be in the description. Other updates, we had subscriber flare feature, or like a little image that shows what it's going to be, and it was Crusader C2, M2, and A2 plushies, which look pretty cool and I think really collectible, so it'd be neat to see more of those in the future. We had a Galactopedia update where the main article was about a certain type of lore post. The rest are more like ships and planet and moon locations. Sneak peek is the new hacking tool. Let's hope something meaningful comes from this prop. We'll have to see. And then there was a This Month in Star Citizen post where they talked about what's coming in February, which is pretty cool. So Xenothreat is coming February 3rd. The Hover Quad should be available for sale soon. Not sure what the holdup is. Red Festival is in February as well. This is where you find red envelopes to sell, like we did the gift boxes. They also made a post about that today as well, so I'll link that in the description. Most importantly for me, Jumptown is coming back at some point, and I would like to see us have the ability to trigger it, but I doubt we'll be able to do so in February. Hopefully that's something that comes soon. And yeah, that'll do it this week, guys. So thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. And yeah, so hit the like button, comment down below, let me know what you thought on any of the subjects that we talked about today, and subscribe for more weeks in review. See you next week.